Want an older woman to mentor you? Try this. Over my years serving local church women's ministry, I, the writer, have heard a consistent desire for women of various ages, stages, and life situations. I want an older woman to mentor me. It's a good desire and a model Paul commands in Titus 2:3-5, which I'll pull up that later. The difficulty tends to come in how those relationships practically work out. If we're honest, some of us approach older women like a godly in-person Google search, I like that, or an on-demand counselor. But this approach won't only rob us of much of the beauty of sharing life with an older woman, it may also push her away. And it goes into 5 ways of how to be a mentee. And it says, 1, be faithful. Whatever you've decided to study or read, be faithful to complete the assignments. 2, be active, not passive in the mentoring process. Don't assume your mentor will always know exactly what you need. Think through what you'd like to ask her and bring questions to your time together. 3, be honest and humble. You don't have to hide your struggles from your mentor. Be honest. Confess when you've sinned and ask for help. When your mentor provides accountability and offers insight into sin patterns, listen with humility. 4, be caring and understanding. It's important to find ways to care for and encourage the woman mentoring you. She's facing struggles of her own, even though her life may look orderly and together. She probably feels overwhelmed on many days. And 5, be prayerful. Be prayerful. Your mentor needs your prayers just as you need hers. Each time you meet, ask her how you can pray for her. And I like this. Mm-hmm. The intern, and she says, my intern asked me to share my rose, bud, and thorn. The rose is something good that happened. Mm-hmm. The bud is something I'm looking forward to, and the thorn is something difficult I'm facing.
Oh, I like that.
I like that too.
Yeah.
I'll have to come up with a way to man that up.
I would say, how's that translate for men?
What's your...
I don't know.
What's your nail, your screw, and your hammer? I don't know.
No. You need to workshop it.
We will workshop it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't think the article shares how to get a mentor, because that's probably the hardest part. Like when I've talked to young women, they're like, I don't know who to ask. I don't know when to ask. And then when we do often ask, the person says no. So the practical part of like, how do I even enter into this relationship, I think is missing. But I don't know, for me, I have asked an older woman to be my mentor and she said no. You were there when that happened. Or no, actually, let me take that back. She said, possibly, let's talk. And then she ghosted me completely. Dang. I was like, dang, man, that sucks. We lived in Texas, went to OCBF with Dr. Tony Evans, whoop, whoop. And I moved from youth ministry into women's ministry. And at first I was terrified because the model of women's ministry I had seen was just, it from the outside looking in, it just didn't look like it fit me. Like I always use the term, I felt like I had to wear pantyhose to be part of formal women's ministry, you know? And I'm like, I'm not wearing no pantyhose. It's not going down, you know? And so I was nervous. And the honest truth of it is that when I got involved with Life on Life, some of those stereotypical things about women's ministry were there. Mm-hmm. Like there was a hat parade and there were, I mean, it's kind of cute though. I have to admit, I got really into the hat parade. That's funny. You know, there was a hat parade and there was a table decorating contest. Mm-hmm. And on the outside looking in, my younger, more foolish self would have been like, look at this. They need to be doing exegesis, rah, 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 you know? Yeah. But as I fellowshipped in relationship with those women, I found that not only were they doing the deep work of exegesis, which is studying the Bible bit by bit, piece by piece, jot and tittle, but they were also like living it out. Yeah. They had lives that was bearing good fruit, and they were helping each other outside of the church. And I was just welcomed by this group of ladies. and I love every single one of them. If you're listening, shout out. Some of them still contact me. And the thing about it is that I've personally felt mentored by all of them, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I never asked them for a formal mentor-mentee relationship. So I was just thinking about that, like intentionality and formality. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but what I am saying is maybe it took the pressure off of, will you be my mentor? Then like, hey, let me walk alongside of you in this.
Yeah.
And then, but I did feel what she was saying about how can the younger woman be a blessing to the mentor? Because I made it a point to serve the women. Now, it was a little different for me because I was on staff, so it was my job to serve them. But, you know, I think I went above and beyond, hopefully, drop some comments. But, you know, I would take food and pray and go and do things, and they would do the same for me.
Right.
And to this day, some of my just richest moments of church life center around Life on Life ladies. And so even though hat parades and table decorating contests are not my thing, I honored them because they were their thing. And I think as young bucks, we can come in and just like flipping tables, and then we miss the point. You know, I mean, if we approach mentorship like we approach missiology, this is the study of missions, you know, that you have to become like in order to reach, right? And so it's like, yeah, like, why wouldn't I try to learn their customs if I'm trying to like become a part of this group?
Right. They said Titus 2 verses 3-5, but we're going to look at not all of Titus 2, but a good chunk of it because it has all of it. As for you, Titus, promote the kind of living that reflects wholesome teaching. Teach the older men to exercise self-control, to be worthy of respect, and to live wisely. They must have sound faith and be filled with love and patience. Similarly, teach the older women to live in a way that honors God. They must not slander others or be heavy drinkers. Instead, they should teach others what is good. These older women must train the younger women to love their husbands and their children, to live wisely and be pure, to work in their homes, to do good, to be submissive to their husbands. Then they will not bring shame on the word of God. Man.
There were older women getting drunk back in the day?
Yes.
I don't know why that just hit different. The older women must not be heavy drinkers? Is that what it said?
Don't be heavy drinkers.
For older women.
Teach the older women to live in a way that honors God. They must not slander others or be heavy drinkers. Yeah.
They were getting sauced back then. Okay.
Lost in the sauce.
Man. I don't know why I wasn't. I've never noticed that.
It's because you don't read your Bible.
I do, for the most part.
No, I doubt it. Verse 6, in the same way, encourage the young men to live wisely, and you yourself must be an example to them by doing good. Works of every kind, let everything you do reflect the integrity and seriousness of your teaching. Teach the truth so that your teaching can't be criticized. Then those who oppose us will be ashamed and have nothing bad to say about us. And that was Titus 2, 1-9, basically, 1-8. For my discipleship process, with my home church, Concord, shout out,
boop, boop.
If you're listening, it was unique because, and I don't know if I want to say unique. I think it was like most youth groups where you had adults who cared about kids, who wanted to grow them, but there was something else to it that made it a little bit different. And I think with all of my former youth people, like you were saying, like the home was open. Mm-hmm. Like it wasn't just you saw them at a church building and that was it. Like you opened, like they opened the home. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to see, and it was always an open invite. Like, and it was those moments where I saw like life happened. Like I remember this. I'll tell you this.
Is this a Zellum story?
This is a Zellum story.
I knew it was.
It's my guy Joel, who's a papa now, and
You're old.
I know, and he's what 6'5", 6'6", 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
285 pounds. At one point, he was a scrawny little 10-year-old.
He was like maybe 11 when I met him, maybe less.
Maybe I don't know, but he was young. He was a young guy.
Yeah.
And I remember a time where Joel and Isaac's the youngest, they were fighting about something, and Aaron like yelled at them like Joel, like remove yourself, something like that, because they were fighting. And so Joel went from like one couch to the other couch, and Isaac just chased after him, was just like pounding on him, right?
Isaac was doing that?
Isaac was doing that.
But he was so cute.
Isaac was a cannonball with arms, man. and so anyways, like I look at Aaron, and Aaron's like, this is boys. My point was that that was a time that wasn't pretty, and it wasn't something like like the article said, like it wasn't something that's like, oh, everything's packaged in a nice little bow. Like it was a little bit messy, and it was like I saw a moment where it was like, oh yeah, life's real. Like,
yeah,
like you're a person who also has struggles too. And so the idea to be praying for your mentor is a good one as well.
I'm reminded of the story of when we were on Santa Monica Pier in LA, babe.
Oh yeah.
And so it's so bad. But I mean, picture this, there were a lot of young leaders at this conference, and we're like the older married. We got dubbed the older married cool couple. And
we did.
And so we, presented as such. We're like, some of them were dating, some of them not. And so we just kind of like were talking to them, and they were asking us questions about life and how we got involved in missions. So we're like taking on that role of unofficial mentor at the time. And so we decided to head off to Santa Monica Pier, middle of the night, just to check things out. And we got into a huge fight. Matthew and I did.
Don't remember what.
Oh, I remember, but we don't have to go there.
Of course you did. What was it about?
No, we don't have to go there.
All right.
But I was just in tears. Matthew had walked off, and I'm on Santa Monica Pier just crying my eyes out. Nobody's around. And you don't want people to see you in that state, right? And here comes the big group of young people that we were just ministering to. And they come to Santa Monica Pier because they were like, hey, if the older cool couple can go at night and have fun, and we can too. And I like try to hide, and I can't. They're locked in. And at this point, I'm crying on Santa Monica Pier by myself. When you see someone in that state that knows you, they're going to comfort you. And so, I told them what was going on, and it was just, I don't know how I felt in the moment. I don't know if I was embarrassed. I'm not sure. But what happened is that they saw this raw interaction that we might look great on paper, but in real life, we go through some stuff.
Right.
And actually, the young people, they're married now. Luke and Rebecca. Yeah. They've got kids too.
They do have. That's right.
So we should send this to them so we can talk about it.
We're so old, man.
I know. But anyway, but they came around us. Like Rebecca was talking to me. She prayed with me. You were over there with Luke and them. And I was like, oh gosh, I guess we have to now reunite on Santa Monica Pier. Because I'm like, I can't just run off somewhere.
Was this before or after the rats came after us?
This was before.
Okay.
And so Rebecca walked me over, and there's this group of young people, and her boyfriend, Luke, is there. And we just like, I was like, okay, let's do this. And so you apologized. I apologized. We cried. They circled around us and prayed. And how beautiful is that?
Yeah, it's
like,
cool.
They will never forget it.
Meanwhile, I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah, like it was just really cool. And I remember talking to Rebecca the next day, and like I thanked her for being there for us. And she was like, honestly, like it was so impactful to see you guys. You know, you seem like so happy, and you have this hiccup, and because I will say this, you did abandon me on Santa Monica Pier at night with crazy people.
You're all
and
right.
so
You've been all right. You'd have made it through.
But we, she was like, you had this big moment, but now you're back doing the Lord's work together.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you're still mad at each other, but you're walking together.
This is a clip from our live stream that happens Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9:40 p.m. right here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe, turn on notifications so that you can join us when we go live, and we'll see you then.